So after 4 wonderful nights at Polentswa, it was our final full day in the Kgalagadi, where we would be travelling from Polentswa to our final night stay at Two Rivers.
It was another bittersweet moment for us, passing and stopping at Kgalagadi for the last time before we head into Nossob camp and then making our way down to Two Rivers. As whenever we're staying in Nossob, it's just a thing that we always go up north and we stop at Kgalagadi for at least half an hour to an hour, even if nothing is happening, because there's so much bird life that is in that area. The sounds of the Namakosang grass and, me trying to get a half decent photo of these guys that are so quick. I think this time around we actually did get a couple of nice photos. I mean, we can always improve on them, but I think these pics that we captured, on our last stop were pretty decent. Better picture than that. When it comes to looking at jackal in the Kgalagadi, it is so easy to dismiss them. We, this time round, paid a lot of attention to the jackal at the waterholes, and we got some really nice photos and video footage of them in the most gorgeous light possible. And yes, they can be a pest, but at the same time, they are super beautiful.
Polentswa is about 60 kilometers from Nossop. So going down to Nossop on our way to Two Rivers really took us about an hour and a half, 2 hours that morning.
We decided to stop at the newly renovated picnic site at Nossob just to have a bit of a breather, have some breakfast, as we did leave Polentswa pretty early. The toilets were absolutely beautiful, with a cleaning up area as well as electrical points if you need to charge anything. I mentioned earlier on in the series that when you're going on a picnic, or if you're going on a day out and you leave in the campsite, that if you planned a picnic, just double check that you have everything. Okay, so we stopped at the picnic and we took the stuff out that we needed to have a nice breakfast, including our jockey wheel that we detached from the trailer just for safety reasons. I did not realize that the jockey wheel was taken out of the trailer and placed in one of the benches. This was only realized that it had been done so when we arrived at Two Rivers and we forgot to reload it back into the boot. So when we sitting, we thinking it was a long drive, we are tired, we don't have a bra at Two Rivers, and then be well rested to head off the next day. Was not the case. We had to use, luckily there were some flat bricks that we found at Two Rivers, and we had to stack those underneath the actual apex of the trailer, which helped. But the next day we waited until 2:30 in the afternoon for a fellow camper to bring it back down for us. So yeah, that was a bit of another mistake on our part, but I suppose adds to the excitement, but also gave us a little bit more time in the park. Spiller på. We took it really slow on the road back to Two Rivers. I kind of felt like our senses were heightened and we were even more visual and trying to take as much out of the park as we can on our last day. Even though we were looking forward to getting back to Cape Town and back to normal life, we would definitely miss the park immensely, as it was such a special trip for us. We've had so many highlights over this winter series, and seeing a wildebeest walking towards us head on with a little bit of dust in the background is just another one of those highlights that we can take back and put in the memory bank. We were fortunate enough to have some really nice photos of these beautiful wildebeests in the background with our oryx in the foreground. You could see in the videos and the photographs that the wildebeests were not just grazing, but rather on a mission to get to one of the waterholes for some water. Okay, so I've been asked by people that know me as well as friends, how is it possible that me being a really active guy, struggling to sit still at home, always looking for the next thing to do, so how do I sit still for so long? whether it be the trip from Cape Town to the Kgalagadi, one way, so we don't usually stop, or sitting for hours and hours in our car in the park, capturing content, taking photos, and enjoy the nature. So it begs me to ask myself the question: how is that possible? And for me, I just think it's the freedom in the tranquility of the Kgalagadi that does it to me. I really enjoy what we do in the park, whether it's spending time with our kids, spending time together. And I think the Kgalagadi is a very special place. And it has this effect on many people that we have spoken to. It's a place to unwind. It's a place to relax. It's a place to reflect and be one with nature.
I think it's safe to say that it's been a really tough couple of years for a lot of people, most people on the planet really. And as a family, our last few trips to the Kgalagadi have been extraordinarily necessary for us, just to find that peace that a lot of us seek in this world. Next year, we've managed to secure a booking for the first time at Mabuya Subudo, so Jay and I will be doing that on our own for a week. This summer, however, we won't be going back to the Kgalagadi. We have promised our children a garden route holiday, which really is for their benefit, just to see family and to be at the beach and on the river where they love to be. However, I must say I will always go back to the Kgalagadi if we can, at least once a year. I do miss the Kruger. The Kruger has a lot of wonderful places, and we hope to do a Kruger trip at the end of next year. But for now, it's one holiday at a time, and enjoying South Africa and its national parks is definitely going to remain a priority of ours. So we had never stayed at Two Rivers before. Two Rivers is the Botswana side of the Tweerefuren rest camp. So when you come into the front gate of the Kgalagadi, the Tweerefuren campsite's on your left. To go to the Botswana Two Rivers campsite, you will turn right and pass a few houses that belong to staff, and you'll go up a little road along the fence. And on higher ground, you will see, I think there are about 5 or 6 campsites that are allocated at Two Rivers. My understanding is it's not a very busy campsite, but it's actually really significantly better than Tweerefuren. Naturally, the ablutions are not in the best shape. It does look like they're busy doing work on those ablutions. We did not enjoy using them. It was only for one night, but I can honestly say that as a preference, the physical campsite is leagues above Tweerefuren. The grounds are excellent. The tree for shade is lovely. And most importantly, you have much better views and actually can hear the nature around you, the barking geckos, etc. It is definitely like the other wilderness camps, although it is more urban and you have access to the shop at Tweerefuren as well as the petrol station at Tweerefuren. It's our last morning. It feels like minus something, but the car only says 1. But it is very cold this morning. As Jay mentioned earlier, we had left our jockey wheel outside of our car at the Nossop picnic site. When we checked in, we went to the Transfrontier reception and they very kindly phoned Nossop, and they fortunately found our jockey wheel at the picnic site. So what they did to help us is they let the jockey wheel go to the first person that left Nossop that was willing to take it down to Two Rivers, and we would have just had to wait the next day until the jockey wheel arrived. The alternative was to go to Uppington and buy a new jockey wheel, because once we had arrived home in Cape Town, we would need the jockey wheel to actually park the trailer once again. It wasn't an ideal situation, and I know we'll look back and laugh at it, but we were quite tired and we wanted to go home, so we tried to make the most of the extra time whilst checking every hour at reception to see if they had arrived. We did get to enjoy some time with two beautiful little steenbok just outside the Transfrontier gate and watch them interact and dig for roots. So that brings us to the end of our Kgalagadi winter adventure. We really hope you've enjoyed the journey with us, and for those of you planning a trip, we hope it ends up being your best ever. Take care.